Deepak, over to you.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen. Let me know, guys, if my screen is visible to you.
Uh, it is.
Great. So, my slide view. Okay, it is visible right now. Yeah,
Yes, it is.
great. So, hi everyone. I'm Deepak. Thank you, Vidya, for the brief introduction, and it was really kind words. So, our topic for today is integration service. So, as many of you have been attending these sessions regularly, so a lot of things that you have been seeing is that we are working on not for creating agent. We have been working on multiple areas at a one time, like not a single application or things that we are using. We are using multiple things. So, the integration service can be a way to help you in that area and with a very ease of kind of thing. So today we'll learn how we can integrate with different applications and with how we can integrate different applications with UiPath and how we can use them in our workflow and in an easy and interactive way. No need for going in much depth of a coding. So using those applications freely through APIs, and that APIs you don't even have to write code for that. So it is that interesting. So firstly, introduction. Hi, my name is Deepak. I'm senior RPA developer at XCM Travel. I've been working as an automation developer for almost 4 years now. So they told a lot about me. So I'm not gonna go in depth in my introduction. So firstly, the agenda, what we will cover today. So firstly, what we will see, what is UiPath integration service? What do we mean by integration service? What is that services that we can use in UiPath? Second, how we can access that services, where we have to go, what we have to do to access this service and use it in our processes. Third is there are four basic components of using an integration service. So we'll see one by one what are those four components, what are their use, what are their definitions, how we can utilize them. We'll see these parts in our today. And after that, this session, you will be easily able to create a connection with UiPath integration service and use that in your project and build an agent with the help of this as well. So firstly, what is UiPath integration service? Just say, okay. So I have a video here to show you guys. So let me share my screen again and share the audio as well. Just a second. That option. Share sound. My screen is visible again. Hope you are able to see it. Hope it is visible. So I'll just start the video and the sound. If you are not able to hear the sound, just let me know or message in the chat.
Who doesn't love having extra time to spend on more interesting, productive work while UiPath robots take on your everyday, tedious tasks? Because your UiPath robot is equipped with computer vision, it's very flexible and can work with the apps on your desktop just like you would. But like you, robots are always looking for the most effective way to get things done. And sometimes, if you know exactly what you need, it's easier to talk directly to the source of the information. Get it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. That's where the UiPath integration service comes in. By combining both UI and API automation, integration service makes it easy for your robots to directly and securely connect to a large and growing number of systems in your business. And using APIs, they get the information they need quickly and reliably. With Integration Service, a catalogue of popular off-the-shelf connectors allow rapid access to leading financial, ERP, CRM, marketing, human resources, and other applications you need to use in your company. Standardized authentication makes connections easier. Triggers kick off automations based on events or changes to your applications. Robots seamlessly combine automation capabilities such as document understanding, UI emulation, and API integration across your entire process. With Integration Service, you can also build your own connectors for any system integration you need using your own innovative Connector Builder Wizard. UiPath Robots and Integration Service gives you the best of both worlds. Your robots can network through APIs when it makes sense. Then work directly with your apps and desktop to do almost anything you can do on a computer and keep you informed along the way. Meaning you can confidently have even more time to do something much more interesting. Learn powerful new ways to vanquish tedium at uipath.com.
So I hope up to this video you must have got an idea like how UiPath integration service is working. It can connect through multiple systems at a time, and you can directly interact with those systems and make the work that you want to do instead of taking a route that you have to connect it with the API and then call APIs and get response from that and making sense of that data and then proceeding that. Even in sometimes if we don't have any way to directly connect with that, you have to take the UI approach to do that things. So it becomes a lot easier. Like it kind of fascinating, like how it can just directly connect to certain applications and provide you the activities directly instead of going into the code. So that's the main idea, to help you in building an agent by using multiple integrations, and so that your agent is really fast, because API calls are really fast. And if you don't know coding much, if you are still learning into the automation world or the technology world, learning things in that area, so it will be really nice to use these services. So we'll go in depth now. Great. So just a sec, I'm too far ahead. It is now. So what is UiPath integration service? So I have jotted down few points by which you will be easily able to understand what are UiPath integration service and how we can do that. So it enables the automation out of the box library. So in automation, we have something like, if I have to, for example, I have to send a mail, I have to go to Gmail, then write the email and send it. But if, let's just suppose that I have just connected it with integration service, and now with one single activity that is also provided by UiPath, you just directly have to pass like the to whom you want to send the email, what is the subject and what is the body, and you can just directly send it in one activity. It is secured connection made between the Gmail and your bot. So it can easily help you navigate those connector. It will provide you libraries to do those actions. Even Gmail is a big, smaller example. You can go as big as you want. Any kind of ERM, for example, SAP. If you want to do anything in that, you can connect that. Datadog. You have heard of Datadog. You want to make sense of the data. You want to get something from that portal and use that. You can use that. It helps you setting up and managing connection easily, and it's so easy, like in 2 clicks you can get connection done and you can directly use that. It enables keying of automation with server side trigger or events. In this you can also trigger automation. So let's just say that we have made a connection between Gmail and our UiPath connection. So whenever we can set a trigger, like whenever an email comes, it has this particular email ID or it is coming from this particular person, you can directly trigger your automation for an agent. So it has that capability as well. You don't have to just manually see like if that email is coming, then you have to kick it off. No, you can directly set a trigger for that. It will all keep detecting every 5 minutes, like if an email is there or not, if the email is there or not. So it will directly kick your data, kick your process off. It provides you curated activities and events for ease of use. Just like I told you, like it provides you a set of activities for every connection that you make, and it will help you a lot in the automation. It simplifies automation design by providing a uniform experience all across all studio designers. So let's just say that it is helping you in a way that you don't have to go in much depth code for every different application. So you can just use integration service activities and you can just directly create your process. You don't have to create different process for different applications. One is Gmail, one is Outlook. You have to work on both, but they both are different application, both have different authentication kind of method, both have different sending options. So you don't have to make different options. You can just link them with UiPath integration service, and it will provide you activities in which you can use a standardized way to send emails. Next, how to access UiPath integration service. So for this, you don't need any kind of big access or any kind of heavy system in your laptop or nothing like that. You just have to go to cloud.uipath.com and you can access it. It's as easy as that. Just go to cloud.uipath.com. If you don't have an account, just create an account and you will be able to see it free of cost. In the community edition, it's free of cost. You can directly create connections and use that. I'll show you when we'll be doing the demo part. I'll show you how we are creating connection, how we create connections, and how we can use that connection as well. I'll show that part too. It's as easy. Just type cloud.uipath.com and you can just access it. Next, understanding 4 important components of integration service. So firstly, we'll go through the definition of all 4 of them, and then we'll move into the cloud.uipath.com and see how those 4 components work and how we can create a connection. So the first part, it's connectors. So integration service has already few pre-built connectors for us. Like they have already connected few of the APIs with different applications like Gmail, Outlook, Azure. The popular ones are pre-built. You just have to go there, link it with your account, and you'll be easily able to work on that. For example, if I have an organization Outlook account, I'm working at an organization. So in that, I want to create automation in which I have to read the emails that are coming. And if it has a particular name, sender name, then I have to download those attachments and save it at a certain location, at a SharePoint location, for example. I can easily do that with integration service because integration service has a connector of Outlook. I'll just directly log in into that connector. It will link it with my account, and I just have to go to the studio, get the activity, and download that attachment and another attachment for SharePoint as well. If you want to do that, it can be done in 3 activities with integration service. If you take the classical route, it can take you like 20 minimum activities if you do the same process, like getting the email, reading an email, then filtering out which email we want or not, and if it has the attachment or not. If it has the attachment, then download it, and then downloading, adding it to SharePoint, and it's done. So it will take you 20 activities to do that. But in connectors, with the help of connectors in your path integration service, we can get it done with 3 activities. So each connector have a pre-built activities. I will show you how these activities we can see and use that too. But each package provides you certain activities which can be used directly. And if you want, like every major thing that you can do in that application will be given in that activity. So it's easy to use at all. Second, the connection. So it will show you how whatever connections that you have made. So let's just say that I have 5 connections made up. So in the connection tab, it will show you what are the connections that you have built, what are the credentials, like what is the ID that you have linked it with, which ID you have logged in with which connector. And if it is showing as success, that means that your connector is still working, because sometimes it happens that our credentials expire at a certain period of time. We have to remake that connection again with the new credentials. So by that success too, it keeps checking that your connection is still working or not. If it is failed there, you have to just go there and link it again. It will start working again. So it also, like the connections, it works on a folder level basis. If you have seen the UiPath platform before, you will see like that we can have multiple folders at a time. So we can create connections in a way that, let's just say there are 3 folders in my orchestrator, A, B, and C. And I want to use the Outlook connection, which is linked to my professional email ID. I want to use that only in A folder. So I can link that too. So that becomes more like a security point of view, because I'm not giving it access to the whole folders. I'm just giving it access to a particular folder as well. So folder structure, permission management, that becomes easy for your organization to manage also. And also, like if there are third-party connections, we don't want to give that access to our production folder at the start, because we are just testing if it works or not. So you can just do it in a testing folder and work on that. This is the second part, which is connection. We also see that in the orchestrator as well. Then third part is trigger. So by the name of trigger, we can already make a sense like it is triggering something. So we can subscribe for an events in applications. Let's just say the example that I gave you for Gmail or Outlook, that we are waiting for a certain email to come and then we'll do that. So that kind of example comes under trigger, because we have set a trigger, like if a certain email is coming from a certain user, then we want to trigger this certain automation or a certain agent. So that can be a trigger. That is a trigger. So we use that to kick off our automations or any application that we want to do at that certain point of time. We don't want to keep running the automations at every email, because it will consume license, it will consume your machine unit, it will consume your agentic units. So we keep on triggers, even if like at the night when you are sleeping, at email comes and it can directly pick that email, uh, take that information in that email, like this is the email that we wanted, and just directly trigger your automation for you, even when you are sleeping. So trigger becomes very useful in that, and you can give it certain time, event, anything of that. So we'll see that too in detail. The next one is connector builder. So UiPath has like 90 plus pre-built connector, which are majorly used like Salesforce, Jira, Azure DevOps, Datadog, UI, uh, Outlook. So all those connections are pre-built for you, because these are the connections that are majorly being used. But let's just say that there is some application that is your organization is using, and like for example, you are creating an agent for your hackathon and you want to use that certain application. So you don't want to take the UI approach, because it will slow your time. The agent will take some time to do that apart in the back end, then come back to you. So you can do, but if you have the APIs for that particular application or platform, you can directly create a connection of your own. You just need the APIs package of that particular application. You can directly go to UiPath Connector Builder. It's a little bit of thing that we can show you, like how it can be created, what kind of requirement it does need. So you can, with those APIs, you can create it, and again, similar way in the connection, like in the studio, you can directly go and use those API call, because you have authenticated those API call once. You don't have to go to the studio and call APIs every time and keep authenticating it again and again. So it becomes really easy to create your own connection as well. It's as easy as that. Let's just dive into the studio and see how it works. So if you guys have any question in between, feel free to like send them into the chat. We'll pick them up one by one and we'll answer your questions as well. So let me go to the home page. So this is the portal. Like if you go to cloud.uipath.com and if you create an account there, you will see this page. This is the home page of our UiPath Cloud. So here you can have to directly click on the menu button and find integration service here. So if you can see, like this is the integration service, you can just directly click here. It will be visible to you. And this is the main integration service screen that we were talking about. So you will see there are a lot of things here. Like these are all the pre-built connection that I was talking to you. You will see like Active Directory, Active Campaign, Adobe Acrobat Sign, Adobe PDF services, Amazon Bedrock, Amazon Connect, to Amazon SES. A lot of them are there, like Amazon Web Service. If you, any one of you have been using AWS, you can directly link it here and use it in your agents as well. Discord, like most of people who are into gaming, you must know like what Discord is, and if they want to use it for certain tasks, they can definitely use it. Even Facebook. So there are a lot of like more than 90 that I counted last time are there. Even WhatsApp Business is there, Twilio is there, Trello is there, Gen AI activity is there. So you can directly link all of these connection and work on that so easy. Okay, let's just go one by one into each component. So these are all the connectors. So let me just show you one of the connector and how it works. So whenever you open any connector, you can click here and read the documentation of it if you want to. Like it will take you an in-depth documentation of this, and you can directly read it here and see what it is doing. And below that, it also have a brief description of that particular connector as well. Like in this, a cloud-based customer relationship manager, like CRM, and marketing solution designed primarily for a small and mid-sized business. It provides essential customer management, email marketing, sales escalation tool, and allows user to manage prospect, lead, data, and so on. You get to know what this uh, connector is basically, and what can you do with that connector. What is Act 365? In this, if you'll go to connection, if you have any connection made up for this particular application, you will be able to see it here, because there can be scenarios you have more than one connection here. One connection is logged in with your testing account. One connection is made up with your production account. One is made up with your development account. Every connection will have a different kind of access as well, according to your requirement. So you can manage all those connections here. Now comes the trigger part. If you are setting any trigger, let's just say that we go here. I haven't made any connection, but will create a connection and then we'll show you the trigger part. But if you have made any trigger, like if a certain lead comes into this portal, just directly start automation process or start an agent. So you can directly set a trigger here and use that. So now comes the activity part. So these are all the activities which this package will offer you. If you make a connection and if you have to do any of these tasks, these are the major tasks that we usually do in a certain application are already listed here. If you want to do that, it's just a activity. You just directly use it in your workflow, pass whatever values you want to pass into that activity, and it will be able to use it. So this is the example of it. Let's just take a similar simple example of Gmail. Okay, we have seen Gmail. What is Gmail? A web-based email services. After connecting, automate your mail, prioritize important new mails, send regular response to similar messages or manage file attachment. Gmail, everybody have been using Gmail. So if we want to make any connection in the Gmail, how we can do that? We'll run it. But before that, let's see how many activities it support. Like it provides you a lot of activities. Everything you want to do in a Gmail portal, it can have anything for you. Forwarding email, forwarding events, get calendars, get email ID, get email labels, move email, even move email is there, replace record, reply to a certain email, everything that you can think of or doing in Gmail can directly do it here. So let's just try and build a connection into Gmail and see how easy it to create a connection. I'll just click on connection and here it is asking which folder. I'm gonna do this in my workspace folder. This type of authentication, there are multiple authentication level. Whatever your organization allows you can choose that, but OAuth 2.0 is the basic authentication, which we will select now. If you want to manage any scope in this particular, I have selected everything. By default, it has selected everything. If you want to manage that too, you can do here so that it is in your control. Whatever the connections is doing, whatever it is allowed to do, you can completely control it. If you want to just allow it to give a send an email, not read emails, so you can do that. You are the one who's controlling this. So I'll just click on connect. I'll just like my Gmail ID is already logged in here. So I'll just click on this and it is sent. Review UiPath Gmail policy. Okay, I'll say continue. I want to use that. Already has some access. Okay, connection is loaded. So now my connection successfully created. You will see in the connection tab, it is say like on 26 June 2025 with my this email ID, I have created a connection. So it is this easy to create a connection and all these activities which I was seeing here, now I can easily use them. I'll also go in the studio to show you like how we can use this. But before that, let's keep moving forward. So now we have created a connection. So we got to know how we can create it. Now we can go here in connections and see how many total connections I have created. So you will see I have already created a connection on 13th May at 9:14 p.m. for Gen AI activities with my this email account. And now I've connected it with Gmail as well. So here, if you'll see the status, now it is showing connected because these both are working. But for example, any of my Gmail credentials has expired, I have to change it. So it will show here as failed. So you can directly see like this, we have to refresh again and make a connection again to use this. So we can do that as well. And if you want to just check your connection in between, you can just directly click here. It will check your connection and will show you like it is working or not. Now is the trigger part. How, let's just say we wanted to create a trigger, which let's select Gmail here because we have already created a connection for that. It has directly took up my email ID, events, everything. So it has selected the connector. So now we want to do like if any of that event happen, like email received, and we can add conditions in this, like what value in the body, CCC, whatever we want, like from contains Deepak. So if any email is coming whose from address contains Deepak, it will trigger it. And what will it do? What should it do? So it should go here, like all the automations that I have in this machine will come here. Let's just say I'll select healing agent test. So it will, whenever email comes to my email ID with the from Deepak, it will trigger this automation. This is how the trigger works. So it will keep checking for my email again and again and again. Whenever it receives that email ID from Deepak, it will trigger it. So this is the use of trigger and how we can utilize this. Okay, now we have seen connection, connectors, connection, and triggers. The other thing in that is how you can build your connector. So you will see here we have a button here like build your connector. You can directly click here, or otherwise we have a button in the top here like connection builder. You can click at that too. These both work same. So now it is asking create a new connector. If you have already created any connector previously, it will show here as well. Like created here. Now it has two options: start from blank and start from API definition. So if you know that particular application has an API or a Swagger that you can directly get and post it here, upload the file, and so that it can work. So it can directly do that. Just have that package from that application and just upload it here. Like if you want to do it as a local file, if you have it as a zip file, you can directly browse and upload this file and import it. So it will create your connection with those APIs and will work on that. But if you don't have that, if you have a URL, so you can directly paste that URL of that Swagger, the JSON file, and then import it. It will work as well too. If you are not aware like how Swagger works, so Swagger basically provides us that API documentation. Okay, so if you are new to APIs, you can just directly come here and read some things like how the post APIs work, how the put it APIs, get APIs work, and how we can use that. So if you have the Swagger API documentation for that particular application, you can just directly come here and create your own connection as well. It will be a connection created and you can use that directly in your automation, even in Studio Web and in Studio Desktop. It will work on both. And if you are not from like, if you don't want to do this route, start from a blank, name any package, then description. If you want to give it a certain icon of that particular application, if it is a homemade application, like some companies have some applications built in-house. So you can just use icon for that. And then you can start ahead and move with other information for that API. So it will create a connector for you. It is that easy. Okay. So now going back to integration service, going back to connectors. So now we have like these two connectors already created. So how we can use them? Because we saw in Gmail, they have multiple activities. Uh, Gmail. So you saw in that Gmail, we have a lot of these activities. How we can utilize that? How we are able to make, how we are able to use these activity in our automation. So for that, you can even go to Studio Desktop if you have it in your system. Otherwise, you can directly go to Studio Web. Here it is, the UiPath Studio Web. So it is completely on the cloud if you are new to the session. So it is a cloud studio. So you don't have to have anything in your system, no system dependency at all. It will be completely running on the cloud. No need for any system requirement, this kind of RAM, this GB, this kind of any kind of thing will work because it is running on a browser. So no requirement of that. So I have opened a pre-built process of mine. In this, I'm using the Gen AI activities. So I have already had a Gen AI connected. You must have seen in that screen before. So you'll see like this, I'm using a Gen AI activity to categorize some data. So it is as easy. Like I have a connection, it is this, and I can directly use a Gen AI activity. So if you want to see how Gen AI activity is, so just type here Gen. So now you'll notice all these activities which have this icon are Gen AI activities. Wait for an event on UiPath Gen AI activities and resume content generation. If you are wanted to create a process in which you want to generate a content through through uh, Gen AI, like generative models, like machine learning model in the backend, it is running it. It can create content for you. It can create email for you. So many things we can do with the Gen AI, like insert record, list all record, so many things we can do. So by integration service, with one click, we have made a connection with UiPath Gen AI model, and we are now directly using it in our system. Now see how the Gmail activities. So I will type here Gmail. So all these Gmail activities like get Gmail label, get single Gmail label, apply Gmail label, remove, download emails. So let's just try download emails for now. So you'll notice by default, it has selected my account, which I have created connection with my Gmail account. So now I have to pass a variable in which my email will be, then uh, it can directly download that Gmail and save it for you in an output. So it is that easy. I don't have to go to any particular interface or any particular application to download an email which is coming on my email. As simple as that, just one activity, it can directly connect it to your Gmail account and it can directly save it that into your machine. More activities are here as well. Let's just try one more. Send email, basic activity. We use Gmail to send email. So it has again sent, created a connection, save as a draft. If you want to yes or no, if you want to go into like expression editor, you can like add some condition here. If this certain condition confirms, then you can save it as draft. If not, then no. So in the to email, we can add the email ID which we want to send email to, what is the subject of that email ID, what will be the body, and if there is any attachment in this, you want to have any attachment in your email, you can directly have that attachment here, link it here, and when you send it, it will be sent. And these option too, like if you want to give it any importance, because by default the mail we sent is of normal importance. If you want to send it as high importance, like this is an important email, mark it as important, so you can send its importance high, reply to CC, BCC, everything you wanted to do in a Gmail, you can do that. So this is a basic simple example. I hope everyone is clear. I'll show a bit of different example now. Let's just go to integration service again, where it is. Oh, there it is. So now we see like how Gmail connection was. Like it was so easy. My Gmail account was logged in. If not, I can just use my username and password and make a connection. But every connector has a different linking capability. So let's just say like this one. I want to create a connection with this one. So in this, you will notice it requires an API key and a developer key, because every application is created differently. At the back end, everyone has a different mechanism that it can be connected to, different kind of authentication method. Like in Gmail, it asks us which kind of authentication method you wanted. So in this, it is different. Let me show you another example as well. Adobe PDF services. Let's try to connect it with this. In this, you'll see it wants client ID, client secret, and the region as well. Which region are you working in? So if you have a subscription of Adobe, so you can get these values easily. But if you don't have a subscription, you are using a premium model, you won't be able to have these activities, the client ID or client secret. So every application have a different kind of authentication mechanism, which is based like particular to that application. So we have to understand how that particular connector is working. So for more details of that, you can directly go to the documentation part and read how we can connect it, what kind of requirement are there. And if you don't know, like in this connection, we needed the API key. So if you don't know how we can get a client ID, how we can get the client ID and client secret for this. But if you'll go to that documentation, you'll find details like what values are required, where we can find them. And if still not, you can directly try and Google it. UiPath has a lot of documents regarding this, how you can make connections. So it can easily help you out to make connections. Let's see one more example. Which one should we do? Let's try Discord. Okay, in Discord, it's a different kind of authentication now. Now the token type, what kind of token type you have, bot token or a user token. Let's just say bot token, now the token. So if you go into Discord, you will see in the settings of that, you can create token. So by that token, you can directly link it with UiPath and then use it forward. So that is a kind of capability UiPath has. And just by this connection, whenever you make this connection, after that, you no need to ever authenticate on that portal again till that time your connection is working. Because if you see in Discord, it has a time for how much time you want to keep this token working. That is a security policies of every company is different. Some allow 30 days, some allow 60 days, some allows to never end it. So if it is in your hand, you can directly keep it off never ending. But if not, you have to follow that compliance that that particular application has, and then have to remake that connection again. And in Discord too, what kind of activities do we have? Like creating a channel, creating events, creating thread from messages, get records, send channel message, a lot of things. So how it is improvising, like improving your process. So if you are like participating in the hackathon, you must be have an idea, like we want to try to do this. So in that idea, like there will be a certain application that are being used, like even Gen AI activities. If you have a paragraph coming from an email, you want to make sense of that and then make content regarding that and post it on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, anyone you want. So you can directly use integration service and use that connection in your agent as well. So for example, we saw the email activity. Now we want to see the Twitter. Now Twitter name is X. So you can see the X connection is already there. So by Gmail activity, we got the data that we wanted. And then by the generative AI activities, we make the content for that. And by the X activities, like the Twitter activities, we can post that content on Twitter. So it makes the whole cycle easy. And this can be done with 3 connections, just 3 activities, taking data from one, passing it to another, taking data from that, and then passing it to another, and the task is done. It makes your life so much easy in this area. I see we have one question. Can you explain once again? Hi, which part do you want me to explain? If you can chat message in that group again. I'll wait for your message. Meanwhile, I'll continue. So this is how it is. So now we have seen like how what connectors are, what connections are, and what triggers are, and what connection builder is actually. So now we have to see, I told you in the start also, like every connection can be linked to a particular folder as well. So now we have created it in my workspace. So let's just select a different folder and see if this connection are there or not. No, because we gave that access to that connection in connection builder only. Connection between email. Okay, I'll come to that just after this point. So now you'll see we made the connection in my workspace, and now that connection is only in my workspace. I can't see that in any other folder that I have. If I'll create any connection in shared, I want to be able to see that in my workspace as well. This is how the security compliance is working, because there are some applications we are using in testing or development, but we don't want to use them in production as of now. This is how it helps. This is the part that I wanted to show you about security as well. Now the connection between email. So for example, like in the email, I showed the example of Gmail. So we have made a connection in this folder of Gmail. So now if I go to UiPath Studio and I want to use any kind of content from the Gmail and use it in my agent or my process automation, I can directly just use Gmail activities and you do that. So let's just say that I have to send an email. So by default, it has authenticated my email. Now I don't have to authenticate it again because we have already done that in the integration service part. Now I can just directly come here, whatever email I want to set to whoever I want, whoever I want to send the email to, I can just directly type their email ID here, the subject line here, the text here, attachment here, and even the BCC, CC, everything we can do that here. So it is easy to make connection, and now we can use that connection again and again. Even like we downloads any email, we just have to give that email message to it, and it can download it for you wherever you want. So it is as easy as that. So this is the part that I wanted to show you guys. So now I wanted to see if you guys have any questions, if you wanted to ask anything, any questions, I'm open for that.
Well, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. If you're not comfortable, please use the chat box.
Right.
I'll stop the recording before we start the Q&A.